going on, guys? It is the following day since I shot the last video, and I'm about to start finalizing the fog light install on the front bumper. And those crows are mad annoying, but I'm about to finalize the fog light install on the bumper and get everything all wired up on the car too. So I'm going to show you guys that process and how I'm going to do it. Maybe not the best way, but it's how I'm going to do it for now, since all this is temporary. It's all going to come back off when I actually paint the car. But I like to have the car back together so I can drive it around and stuff like that. But yeah, so what I have here is a little bit of silicone. My brother's into fish tanks, so he just has a lot of this construction silicone lying around. It's just 100% silicone. Safe for fish tanks, it's good for fog lights. So we have our fog light here, and like I said in the previous video, I just popped these lenses out, and these guys actually screw on, sandwiching this lens here onto this guy right here, which is where our actual LED is for our fog light. And it looks like there is a rubber O-ring in here that I saw this morning in the nice bright light. So there's a rubber O-ring, there's a little bit of like sealant stuff in there, so I think we're pretty good there. Maybe a dab of hot glue in there to seal off the top board here. But yeah, I don't think there's much water gonna get in here, honestly, but I do think that I might want to run a bead of silicone on the inside of this ring, and then when it sandwiches, it should lock on the top here, or sorry, on this outside edge here, and then there's that O-ring in there. And then my only other concern is these rings right here on top. So I think I'm just gonna not worry too much about it since these lights are so cheap. I'm just gonna put some hot glue on this side, some hot glue on this side, and call it good. And we'll see how long these lights last with those couple of modifications, because I know these are probably gonna burn out, because you can see it's just an open hole where the wires go in. So water's gonna get in there, corrode those tiny wires, and these will probably stop working in 6 months or something like that. But I don't drive this car in the rain that much, so it probably won't be that bad, but it would be nice to have them last a little while. So just regular old moisture and stuff is gonna get in there from, you know, road puddles and whatever, what have you. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and waterproof these lights as best I can, throw it on maybe a little time lapse and show you guys the process, but we'll see what we can come up with. So I got it all siliconed up, glued up, and I like it. It looks pretty good. Didn't really get too much crap on the lens. Looks pretty decent. It bows out a little bit. I got a little too much glue, hot glue on this one, but wires shoot out down and back, so you can't really see them. They're on top, so I'll zip tie them out of the way so you won't even see them. So yeah, I'm liking the way that looks, and this does have a little bit of adjustability. It's still pretty tight in there, which is nice. So I should be able to mess with it and adjust it how I like it. So all that's left is just to do this one right here, just the exact same way. And then we're gonna put some terminals on these guys so we can hook them up. Alright, so now that I got both of them all siliconed up and positioned in place, I tightened my connections actually, and they are pretty rock solid. These guys actually are really solid, so I'm actually pretty pumped. I think they're gonna stay exactly where I put them, and they hopefully will look pretty cool too once they're on the car. I think it looks funky right now, but once it's on the car and these guys are on, because these guys will be on when the car's on, it should look pretty good. So I have these guys right here, which are for the halo, all stripped, and I'm gonna put some connections on these guys. And then these as well, these are actually for the fog light themselves. A little bit thicker wire, but not too much. These guys don't actually draw a lot of current, but I'm gonna overkill it with the wire just so we don't have any voltage drop. And I think I am gonna solder all of my crimps on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and find some terminals that I have that I want to use, and I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing those terminals on here, crimping them down and giving them a little bit of solder just to make sure that they have good connections. So I have this bag, okay. So I have this little container here that I got a while back. It's just like a bunch of terminals, and you really don't even need crimps with these. You can just kind of crimp it with some needle nose. I'll show you guys what I did over here. So here's the smaller of the two. I folded the wire over and then I just kind of squeezed it with these needle nose. And now what I'm going to do is go and heat this up and put some solder into that area. And I put all of the little rubberized things that it comes with on, so I should be able to slide these over and somewhat have a waterproof connection. So I just did the same thing everywhere, and I alternated. Positive has the male and ground has the female, so did the same thing on both, although these are going to plug into different things. But now we have nice terminals on the end. It would be nice to get like a waterproof plug that has like a seal and everything. And in the future, maybe I will look into doing something like that. It'd be cool to get like a 4-way plug and then wire everything into it, and then just have like a OEM style plug. Maybe I'll steal something from the, not steal something. Maybe I'll buy something from the junkyard, you know, little connectors or harnesses or something that I could wire up. That might be kind of a cool project to do in the future. And that's kind of the right way to do this kind of stuff. But this is like another way that you can do it if you don't really have that and you just want to do it cheap. This is definitely going to work for a little while before these connections corrode, but when they do, we will address it at that point. But if I solder it, it should make for a decent connection. So I'm going to bust out the soldering iron and get these guys all soldered and do the other side, and then I'll move on to doing the side on the vehicle. Alright guys, so I'm over here by the side of the car, and I am looking at tapping into the DRLs over here for our halo themselves. So I'm gonna cut this right here because this is the one that actually goes to the DRL. So cut that like that. I'm gonna make sure that that does in fact go where I think it does, and yes, it does. These two wires go up there. So now that I have that cut, I can tap into these guys. And what I like to do is cut the wire like this. Just be careful, especially if you're cutting towards yourself, that you don't use too much pressure and cut into your finger. You know, or a better idea would be to cut away from yourself. But you just want to kind of do this. Try not to cut the wire, at least not too bad anyway. And this way, you're not damaging any of the factory wiring. You're just splicing into it. So then I'll cut all the way around here. And effectively, you make yourself a little unsheathed section of wire without cutting it. And then I stick the razor in the middle and then twist it, and I make myself a loop, and I push the wire together, and now I have a little loop here. And what I can do with this guy is stick my wire in there. After I strip the end of this, stick it in there, twist it, solder it, tape it, and that should be a pretty solid connection. The only thing I don't like about this is that I can't use shrink wrap because I can't slide the shrink wrap over it, but I just tape it, and I don't really have any problems with this. If you solder, you have to solder this type of connection, but never really have any issues like that, so I think we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and strip some of this wire and run it over here about as long as I think I'll need it, and then I'll throw another connector on the end of it, and we'll get ready to plug this in, and we can go ahead and reinstall the bumper and tighten this tray up somehow. Alright guys, so I spent a little bit of time working with my dad on the S10. We're getting that thing back together, trans is back in. All we gotta do is put the exhaust on and it's ready to go. So taking a little break from that now, showing you guys this. This thing's fully reassembled. You know, bumper's still zip tied on like it was before, but it's looking really good. All the lines are really clean. The bumper looks really good. I'm pumped about it. The lights came out nice. I'll turn them on for you guys in a sec, but yeah, all the lines look way cleaner around the lip where I made it fit real nice. So super happy with everything. It looks really good. I think the grill's looking better now that it's closer, and I think once the hood is gray, the grill will look much more fitted, less out of place. But I'll show you guys what this thing looks like with the halos turned on. So that's just the halos on right there. That's what it's gonna look like daytime running light wise. It's gonna be on with the side lights here, the marker ones. So it'll come on. And they look pretty good. And you can tell they look a little purple on camera. We'll see how they show up when you guys see them. But yeah, so then if I go ahead and turn it all the way, I'll trigger my low beams, and the low beams turn on the fog lights. So low beams being on, now my fog lights are on fully. So you can see that we're actually getting light out of the fogs. Looks good. Looks really good. I'm excited. It's gonna look sweet. I'll show you guys what it looks like, you know, maybe at night. I think I'll wait till it gets dark and maybe I'll film a little clip with the ground effects lighting on because I haven't shown that in a while, but really excited about how everything's coming out. Yeah, I think once I do the grill, some side skirts, and then I'll start on the hood and, you know, lots of other stuff to do, but that's gonna be probably it for this video. Maybe I'll show you guys a clip of the ground effects lighting, but yeah, thanks for watching guys, and peace. Got my ground effects lighting on. This thing's looking sweet. You guys probably can't see because it's dark, but yeah, it looks awesome. I'm pumped. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.